morning, welcome back to the ZFW73 channel. Welcome back to my first coffee catch-up since Christmas. I'll look in the right camera. How you doing, guys? Good morning. I've got a little bit of a chat this morning, and then this is about the increasing price, or the increasing price I should say, of retro console gaming, and then just console retro gaming in general. Now what I mean by that is come of the days where you could pick up a retro console such as a PS2, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast for a relatively inexpensive price. What you've got now is obviously the likes of CEX, GameStop, online scalpers, things like this are cashing in on the fact that retro console gaming is and always has been very popular. But I found personally, because I've gone back now into collecting retro consoles and software, that games have fluctuated. Now don't get me wrong, what I'm talking about is the likes of the high street brands such as CEX, operate in Ireland and the UK, GameStop obviously universal around the world. They are cashing in on, obviously yes, they're businesses, they have to make money, I can appreciate that. But the likes of the AAA titles of age, such as Mario, Sonic, Metroid, Donkey Kong, of that type, the prices are expensive simply because they know that people will invest in those titles. They'll pay whatever they're prepared to pay because they are popular games. You'll still pick up some of the older titles that aren't as popular for relatively inexpensive. So for example, if you're paying in Ireland 2 or 3, maybe 5, 10, you know, whatever you want to prepare to pay, you'll pick up those titles relatively cheap. I'll give you an example. I have bid eBay at the moment now for Mario Kart on the Wii with the steering wheel controller, and that's coming in at £11.99. So I am winning that bid at the moment. Hopefully no one will beat me to it. So if I get that bid, I'll be picking up not only the game second hand with the manual instruction and the controller for €14.99. Obviously do be aware that if you are buying anything from the UK at the moment, because they are currently out of the EU, the import charges have doubled and sometimes in most cases tripled. So just make yourself aware of that as well. So I'm basically, if I win that bid, I'll be picking up the game and the controller piece for €25, which you compare to buying the game in a local store in CEX for €38. So if you do shop around, it does make sense and you will pick up some of the retro titles. But as I said, the main purpose of this of the vlog today is game retro prices are increasing. Also the fact that I am going to be mentioning about the PS5 as well. Now the PS5 from the get-go has been increased. It has been really hard to get and to buy. Not to mention COVID didn't help the situation. The shortages and continuing shortages of silicone in the world means that not only the PS5 but the Xbox, Nvidia consoles, any processor that has silicone in it, and let's face it, most of them do, because there is a global shortage of silicone in the mines at the moment where they're sought after. Those items are exceedingly hard to find, and again the COVID shipping hasn't helped. Now we are coming out of COVID. It's not completely gone, but I think we can safely say that availability of Xbox and Nvidia cards is back on the increase. PS5 is now at a stage now, it's only a couple of years since its launch, that Sony now are revising the model. So version 1, you'll find if you go into GameStop, they are no longer taking pre-orders for the original revision of the console, which was released back in 2019. They are revising the model and SKUs for that are not available, but as soon as they are, I'll be hopefully pre-ordering for myself and for my son, hopefully for Christmas 22, fingers crossed. inverted commas. So yes, they are. Sony are doing a revised edition of the PS5. Don't know. I don't have any images of that at the moment. Don't have any specs. So hopefully I will be picking up them. What is also annoying me at this stage, and I'm sure annoys a lot of people, is that CEX are still currently selling the PS5 at nearly double its retail cost. So for example, I've seen them at 820, 850, 870, nearly 999 euros. So you're paying just 100 less than 1,000 to pick up a second-hand PS5. Don't get me wrong, it still has a 24-month warranty. At least they give you something for your buck, CEX. I've never agreed with that selling formula. I think it's absolutely disgusting. If you can't buy it from the official retailer at its original price and you want to pay nearly double for that for assault and demand, that's entirely up to yourself. I wouldn't. That's just me. But yeah, that is the current trend of retro gaming, and indeed PS5. Yeah, as it goes, it is what it is. There's not an awful lot we can do about that, apart from maybe boycott. But I really don't think that is going to happen at all anytime soon. So let me know what you think. There's not an awful lot of people in the chat at the moment, but again, there is always a rewind. So again, you can always leave a comment if you wish after on a rewind. That's absolutely fine. I hope you're all well this morning. As I said, I haven't done a coffee catch-up which is the vlog section of my channel. I haven't done one since Christmas, so apologies for that. It's just being constraint of time and just redirecting some of the content to other things. I can see there's 3 people watching, so yeah, don't be shy. Just pop into the chat and either leave a comment or just let me know that you're there. That's absolutely fine. Thanks very much. And again, if you do indeed like this content, you can leave a like there as well. And if you wouldn't mind sharing out, that would be fantastic. How are you all doing this morning? I hope you are well. As I said, yeah, retro gaming, as I said, if you just joined, it's on the increase. It's never really went away, but the real cash cows of our retail sectors are really cashing in on their replay value, which, as they do realise there is a business for that. So it's quite exciting, really, to be going into the shops and seeing such a proliferation of old consoles. Now that can be N64, that can be your Sega Saturns, your PlayStation 1s of the world, things like this. Typically, from a CEX point of view, you will have a choice of Xbox, the original Xbox, Xbox One, PS2. Doesn't go much further back than that. I think the earliest revision of software I've seen in a CEX would be the likes of PS3, Xbox One, and PS2. Doesn't extend back to Dreamcast, because at the end of the day, what's the point? Sega are no longer available, and well, they're certainly not producing any retail products for the Dreamcast unless you go third party, unless you go back to devs. You can buy games online from them, albeit modded and emulated, which I think is fantastic, to be quite honest. I think it's good that people still support the likes of Sega, even though they're not officially producing SKUs any longer. I think they've gone back to producing Pinchenko machines back in Japan and things like that. Sega does now have Sega Sammy, which is a production company which endorses the likes of the Sonic games. Look, I mean, if you can do that and you can make a buck that way, fair play to them. It's such a shame that the Dreamcast wasn't. Dreamcast was ahead of its time, to be quite honest, back in 1999 when it was originally released. It got overshadowed in 2000 and 2001 with the release of the PS2. Sony knew exactly what they were doing when they marketed the PS2 as a DVD player with DVD technology, and 155 million consoles later on, and yeah, they did something right, Sony, so they did, yeah. Ceased production of the PS2 back in 2013, so it had a good 13-year run, which still doesn't beat Atari 2600, which still holds the number one flag. And if you're not aware of the 2600 Atari, that was released back in 1979, I believe, and it ceased production in 1993, which is monumental, which is, yeah, wow. Where is that actually? That's a good one. Is my maths going there? What, 19? It's definitely a lot longer than that, I would have thought. But yeah, there we go. That's the power of That's the power of retro consoles. That really is the way to do it and the way to go. So yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to vlog about this morning. We'll be running about 12 minutes. I normally run these type of streams to about half an hour anyway. It's all I generally would generate feedback over. So at the moment there's no one around in the console, so I'll try my best to run blind as I can for the next 17 minutes or so. As I said, you are more than welcome to drop something in the chat. Let me just refresh my chat to make sure it's not running on a continual loop and I've missed some chat. No, I haven't missed my chat. The only bit of my chat at the moment is a welcome, which doesn't seem to be refreshing. Let me just check that out now. Yes, it is there. Right, as I said, yeah. At this point now, if you haven't been listening to what I've been saying, it's because I haven't set my audio right, so let's just quickly check. Right, as I said, yeah. Oh, that's running fine. So if you are still watching, or you've been watching me since I started, yeah, it's all about retro consoles and retro popularity with a little bit of PS5 there as well. So yeah, as I said, retro gaming still very popular. People still stream and do still stream on a daily basis. I've been streaming House of the Dead 3. I've been doing a little bit of Lego Dimensions there on the PS4 as well. My console gaming goes back to ZX Spectrum 1983, so I'm well versed in knowing what to talk about when reference to retro gaming, retro consoles. So I think I've probably had every console that there is conceivably to think of, with exception to the Virtua Boy and the Jaguar 64. I never actually had a retro Atari machine at all. I never had a 2600. 2600 was more popular in the States, but I never actually had one of them. My infancy start, because obviously I'm from the UK. The biggest, we were the home computer sector of the world. So what I had when I was certainly young, from about the age of 10, was the ZX Spectrum, the the Amstrad 464 and the Commodore 64. So they were the three main companies of rivalry during my childhood anyway. So that's what was most popular. So I had, I'll go through my list of retro, in talking about the retro, I'll go through every single console I had. So I had the ZX Spectrum, I had later on I had the Commodore 64, then I bought a Spectrum Plus 2, then the Amiga 500, then the Sega Mega Drive. At some point I did have a Master System, but I did obviously go for the Mega Drive soon after, simply because it was more powerful. That's generally how it works. And then after that, I think I went to, after the Sega Mega Drive, I went to the Sega Saturn. Yes, I am one of these people that did jump the gun and buy the Sega Saturn. But not only that, I did actually buy the 32X as well, which was an impulsive buy, a very quick buy, regretted it because it wasn't. It was, I think it was about 150 pounds sterling at the time, and then literally 6 months later, this would have been, I think, the April or May of '95, and then in the November they released the Sega Saturn, which, yes, I did buy that as well. And then come the March April of '96, which was maybe 6 to 8 months later, I jumped on the bandwagon, and then the PlayStation was released in the infancy. I think in November '95 it came out on the UK, and I think by the March of the '96 I'd already got a PlayStation 1 there as well. My God, had to have everything. What can I say? And then, yes, N64 followed its UK launch back in '97. I think I had one of those. Of course, I had one of those. I had Mario 64 and Wave Race and whatever else. And then, yes, the Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube there for a while, an original Xbox, PS2, PS3, and PS4. I've not picked up the PS5, although again, like a long story short, if you've watched one of my coffee catch-ups before, I've been ranting on the fact that I did have a pre-order, gave it to a friend because I couldn't afford it, and my friend has that now. I don't regret my decision, but yeah, it just frustrates me now that nearly 2 years after its PS5 launch, we're still in a position where we can't buy it over the counter. Which isn't Sony's point of view. As I say, again, coming back to it earlier on, COVID is the main cause of that. Not only that, but also the silicone processor shortage as well. It just blows my mind that Sony now are going to be doing a revision of the PS5. It's not going to solve the silicon shortage, unless of course they're going to use polycarbonates to make the processors with, which won't work because silicon is one of those sort of base metals that conducts heat but doesn't overheat, doesn't corrode to a certain degree. Silicon is what they use. So I don't know if they're going to sort of find some other base metal to mix it with that can be more accessible than silicon is. I don't know. I'm not a mineralogist. I don't know. But why at this time? Why are they revising the PS5? Is it to save money? Are they doing what Sony do over a bunch of time? They sort of have the situation whereby they do a revised model just not only to save production costs, to make it slimmer, more compact. Are we going to benefit by having another model, having another SKU available? SKU, you've heard me mention this name, this word before. SKU is a 6-digit or reference number that it's a catalog, basically a catalog number which manufacturers and sellers use. So when a new SKU is available, each SKU has a specific number which corresponds to a purchase. So a SKU is basically, it is what it is. An identification number from a provider to a customer. So soon as those new numbers are available, I would be providing myself with 2 of the models, one for me and one for my son, and that keeps us both happy. But again, from a consumer of past and present products, why is it so? Why is it still, as I said, why is it still 2 years down the line, and Joe Public, Mr. Taxpayer, can't go into a store and buy a product off a shelf unless you're going to CEX and you are again prepared to pay nearly double its retail cost for a product that's secondhand? Blows my mind. But again, there's 2 sides to every story, which I can appreciate, but still borders on the line of craziness. So that's where we're going. We're 20 minutes into the stream. I'm going to try and go again another 10 minutes trying to pad out this chat with absolutely no one in the chat. And we are 10:53 in the morning. What can I say? Maybe I should share my stream out. What can I say? Let's just try that now. See if we can maybe just get at least one body in to to chat to this morning. This is embarrassing, but this is just live chat. What can I say? So let's just share it out to my Twitter, or the Twitter community. It's not my Twitter community, it's a Twitter community. What can I say? So there we go, and we'll share one out to Discord as well. I should know from past experience to fire out streams or fire out shares before I'm nearly a third of the way through it. Now let's just check my chat. So my head's slightly off the screen there now. So there we go. So yeah, where are we? We are here. 22 minutes. Right, folks. Yes. So there we go. Coffee catch up. First one of 2022. Yeah, I suppose ideally you could probably say that now. We are, what day are we today? I don't even know what day of the week is. What are we, the 6th? Yes, we are the 6th of April at 10:55 in the morning. And again, this, if you've only just joined or you're just watching now, this is a coffee catch-up. If you've never seen any of my coffee catch-ups before, it's my vlog side of the channel. So I typically, if you've seen the front of my channel banner, you see I do a whole reference of different content. This is the vlog and catch up. This is the chat. So if you want to speak to me personally or just listen to what I'm about and where I come from, this is basically it. So we've been chatting about retro gaming, the availability of retro game titles, how much more expensive they've been in recent years, and why ultimately the PS5 is still pretty much unavailable everywhere unless you're prepared to pay a scalper 3 to 4 times its current value, or you're prepared to go to the likes of GameStop, not so much GameStop, sorry, but the likes of CEX or any second-hand store to buy a console at nearly double its cost. It's a market, don't get me wrong, but just because there's a market for it doesn't make it morally just or right or correct. If Sony can sell a console at a retail premium, why shouldn't other providers sell that with a minimal of profit, instead of having to ask someone to pay an extortionate price simply because they can? There you go, that's pretty much it. Well, folks, I think I've said everything that I can possibly pan. I can't pan this out any longer without no interaction, so I'm going to bid you a farewell. I hope you have a very pleasant day, and I will be back over the next couple of days, probably with another piece of content, whether that be an upload or whether that be a game stream. Until then, folks, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you very, very shortly. Okay, folks, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.